Bladesmiths, welcome to the forge. On your anvils is a cloth. Go ahead and lift that up.
Fantastic.
Big nuts, gentlemen. Your 3 hour starts now.
I want to have a pretty beefy blade for the double strength testing, because that's going to be a pretty gnarly test. So I'm going to make a drop point recurve camp knife.
Cole's working a tip into his blade over there right now. Interesting. There's no forge welding happening yet.
Not yet.
You guys want to take a closer look?
You bet.
Cole.
My sand my billet is ugly. The pieces are not very uniform. There is 1/8-inch gaps between them. And for a forge welding process, that's really bad.
I'm wondering what's going on with Brett. He's got 3 full layers, but they're not even, they're not cleaned. He's spending a lot of time fluxing, and I can see seams in there, so I'm really worried he's gonna have a lot of inclusions in that weld.
Look at Bill go. Nice and steady and smooth.
His pace is just kind of a little slower.
He only moves as fast as he has to.
If you have a methodical approach, you'll find out your work will be better in the end, where you won't have to be correcting mistakes that you made by doing something too fast.
Well, Chuck has really been able to slow things down and be very deliberate about what he's doing. That's probably a pace that comes with relaxed confidence.
A lot of people come up to me and think I'm an angry person just by the way I look, but I'm actually not. I'm actually a nice guy. It's just the look I have. I mean, can't help it, folks.
What is this guy doing now? What is this guy doing now?
I don't know, he's got a backup plan. I don't know what that is.
I'm going to take the remaining bit of my nut steel, and I'm actually going to use a little piece that's going to be a rivet. That'll go through a hole that I'm going to put in the ricasso of the blade.
Oh, no.
Don't do it!
That hole's only gonna make a weak blade weaker.
That's called having a lot of faith in your blade.
Drilling a hole in a knife is not a wise decision, because it can make a spot that's where the blade could crack, and it's already so thin. The clock is ticking. This is my last resort. I didn't break that knife, but now I'm hoping that this rivet is gonna work.
Chuck just quenched.
Yep.
Feeling pretty confident about it. It's all straight, looks good.
Chuck has turned his forge off.
He didn't check for hardness, so he just believes that his blade is hard and good to go at this point.
It's grabbing right there. Negative. The tip is still soft. I think I didn't get the tip quite hot enough. I gotta go right back in for another quench.
Remember, kids, check your blade's hardness before you turn your forge off.
Bill's blade, mighty hot, and it's in the quench.
This is all what it's about right here. You're giving the blade a new life, and it looks good. Looks real good.
Bill's on fire.
Bill, you're on fire!
It's not really a good thing to hear somebody shout fire anytime, but at home, I've set myself on fire a few times, so I can handle that. Not like my pants.
All this work for the past almost 3 hours is come down to the quench, and I am nervous.
Oh, Cole quenched.
Cole's blade sounds good and hard.
My file's skating good, so I know my blade is hard. I feel great. I've got 25 minutes left to get my knife looking good.
Time is just ticking away.
5 minutes, Bladesmiths!
I need to get this thing in the quench as soon as possible.
That blade's not hard, he's in trouble.
Well, that doesn't sound hard.
1 minute!
Not gonna happen with 1
Can't
minute
do it,
left.
no time.
Never get it hot.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Don't
no.
do it! You can't get it hot in 1 minute.
I've got to try something. Something's better than nothing.
He just...
30 seconds, Bladesmiths! 30 seconds remaining in the round!
No way. There's no way he's gonna get that blade hot enough in 30 seconds.
He's gonna end up with an even softer blade than he had before.
He just undid it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
God.
Bladesmith, shut down your machines, drop your tools, pull your blade out of the quench. This round is over.
Not even the tip was hot enough.
He just lost all the hardness of
Whatever
his
hardness he had.
Oh, wait,
it's gone.
just the tip.
Wow.
Well, I swung for the fences, and I envision Jay Nielsen looking down at my knife disapprovingly because he really leans into that thing and he's just gonna kill it with a file.
All right, Bladesmiths, that was a tough challenge. Now it's time for the judge to take a closer look at your work. Bill, you're up first.
I like what you got going on here, Bill. You got a really good shape. Your dimensions are nice. There's a lot more grinding to be done on this. Your tang is a little bit off from your spine, but that's an easy fix.
Bill, this design works well for the Tesla we have in hand. It looks like it's gonna thrust to the point. It's got the width to cut through the bottles also. Good job, sir.
Thank you.
Chuck, please present your blade to the judges.
Yeah, I like the overall shape of the blade. I'm just worried about how thick it is on that spine. Once you get to slicing those bottles, they don't like fat blades. So there's a lot of refinement to do with your blade, but it's a good shape. It's just a matter of can you get that profile to be both a good stabber and a good slicer.
Yes, sir.
You're up next, Cole.
My real concern with the blade is having this fat tip. That's gonna be a lot of mass to push through in a stabbing test. My big concern is this skinny little tang. I'm not delicate with these things, especially since we're doing batoning on the spine and hammering the tip through steel. So you want as much strength and foundation back here as you can get.
Brett, please present your work to the judges.
My big concern is that you weren't happy with your heat treat.
No, I was not.
And then with 30 seconds left, what hardness was probably in this blade is gone. So it's not properly hardened.
Bladesmiths, the judges have made their final decision. It's time for one of you to leave the forge. The bladesmith leaving the forge is Brett. Your blade did not make the cut.
And Brett, you worked to the very last second, but there's not a hard spot on that blade, so that's why we're gonna let you go.
Brett, please surrender your blade.
I absolutely agree with the judges. There's no way that blade was hard, and I knew that going in. I don't really see it as a loss. Either I'm gonna win or I'm gonna learn, and I'm just gonna move on and do better for next time.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our first ever dual strength test. First what I'm gonna do is take your weapons, I'm gonna put the edges on those big industrial nuts and wail down on them with a baton. Then I'm gonna take the tips, put them on that sheet steel, and then I'm gonna baton those pommels that you threaded onto your weapons. See how well they hold up. Bill, you ready?
Yes, sir. I hope my blade stays in one piece, especially when he's striking on that nut. And this is all building up the anxiety. Come on.
Good job, man. Good job.
All right, Bill, we got a couple issues here. Overall, your handle held up well. Your threaded pommel held up to that batoning. Big issue is your blade. We're missing some pieces here. First blow on that nut, it just rounded off a bit. The second two actually took bites out of it. And when we did the sheet steel, your tip came off as well. You can actually still see it in there. So it's a bit on the brittle side. But overall, it's light, feels good in the hand. So nicely done.
Thank you.
Chuck, how you feeling?
Not too good.
We're gonna do it anyhow.
Let's do it. After I see Bill's edge deformation and his tip breaking off, my heart's racing. If this guy's work's gonna suffer this kind of damage, what's mine gonna do?
Jesus, Pete.
All I can figure is something in the grain structure of the metal in that certain area didn't hold up. A catastrophic failure happened. This is a hell of a test.
Chuck, your blade has suffered a catastrophic failure, only making it to the third strike. However, you're not done yet. It would seem that both you and Cole's fate lie with the strength of Cole's blade. Now, Cole, your blade still has to survive the strength test. It's got to make it through at least 3 licks on that nut. You think you got what it takes?
Well, let's see what happens.
All right.
I'm definitely nervous about how it's gonna hold up. Jay has a reputation of beating the out of all of the knives he tests, and you know, I'm expecting him to not hold back on mine. I'm worried about that weak part of my spine.
Chuck, Cole, we find ourselves in interesting circumstances. Both of your blades suffered catastrophic failures in the middle of our strength test. However, Chuck, your blade survived 3 strikes, and Cole, your blade only went for 2. So with that in mind, I have to ask you, Cole, please leave the forge.
That was pretty close. I really thought I was gonna make it through. Proud of what I made. It broke, but I think it looked great. I'm still a bladesmith, and I'm gonna keep on keeping on.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the forge. All right, let's dive right in. On your anvils is a cloth. Go ahead and lift that up. That is a piece of pristine 5160 spring steel. Today, you'll be forging friction folders. Good luck, Bladesmiths. Your 3 hours starts now.
A friction folder is a knife that has a lot of mechanical aspects to it. The tricky part is you have to create a pivot point. That way it will fold out and fold in evenly without any breaks or gaps.
Come on, let's move some steel. I like the way Bob's hammering.
I'm designing this blade as I go, with every hammer blow, and how it's going to fit together. My thought process on having my tail a little bit higher than my spine is so that when the friction folder is open, you kind of have a guard.
I draw the material out and I start to visualize how this knife is going to be. At this point, the knife is revealing itself. Then I start shaping the blade.
Looks like Asitsa is gonna make us a very thin, very shallow blade. You've seen some of the tests we do. You would think you would want to fuller that blade out, get some size into it. We don't play games with these tests.
I've got to focus on that pivot point and how the handle material and the tang and the tab on the end of the tang are all going to work together.
The hardest thing about making a friction folder is the little joint of the knife, the folding part. Right now, I'm mainly afraid of the area where the tang starts.
That ricasso needs to be flat, as in both sides parallel. So if the ricasso gets wide or flares as it gets closer to the blade, that's gonna throw off the scales. And that could affect the way that the blade sits in that friction folder handle.
Yep.
It's time to quench, and if this blade warps on me, the warp is not going to allow for that blade to set inside a friction folder, and that will send me home.
Oh! I think John just lost his blade in the bottom of the oil.
I could feel the blade with the tongs, but I could not get a good grip on it. I decided I might as well just grab it. This has got to be a stupid idea. I have just placed a piece of metal that was at about 2,200 degrees into this vat of oil.
Prepping his arm for the dump.
Now I'm having to reach into the bottom of it to pull it out.
We're gonna see some deep fried arm.
You got it, John!
There we go.
I am ecstatic. No warps, no cracks, and no chips. Oh, thank God. It's hard.
the size of the tail that Bob's putting on there. The only concern I have is as that knife pivots, it's going to have a lot of room in that handle for the tail to slide in.
All right, so Bob is in the oil.
The quench is critical because if you don't get a knife hard, it'll never hold an edge. Testing it with the file to make sure that I'm hard, I feel better now than setting down to an Idaho baked potato and a 2-inch steak.
When the steel takes on the color of the sunset, that's when it's ready to receive its soul.
So with a nice slow quench into the oil.
The knife will always receive the soul once it's quenched. All the work you've done up to that point is finalized. You don't go back from that part.
10 minutes, Bladesmiths!
So I'm at this grinder, and I'm totally unfamiliar with this machinery. The grinders are removing a lot of material very fast, and I'm not accustomed to that.
I am a little bit worried that it's got those bevels coming past that pinhole. Nothing's going to line up very well because the sides of the ricasso are just not going to be parallel.
Oh, yeah.
I don't go completely in all the way, so the tang pretty much remains unquenched. That's what I want, is the tang to remain soft and strong rather than brittle.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This round is over.
Bladesmiths, now it's time for the judges to take a closer look at your work. John, please present your blade to the judges.
My biggest concern is your pivot hole. Now, that's the only connection this blade is going to have to your handle material. That's maybe a third the size of the connection you want for a pivot. It's just a weak spot, so I'd like to see you do something to beef that up.
Thank you.
Bob, you're up. Please present your blade to the judges.
I like the shape, very aggressive shape. I'm not sure if I like the alignment of the tail, though. It's either going to be an interesting handle configuration, or this is going to be high, or the blade's going to be low when it's opened or closed. But I like the beginnings of this.
All right, Derek, please present your blade to the judges.
I really do like the shape of this and the look of it, but my brain's trying to figure how that curve is going to go over that straight. And I'm not sure if you're designing this to sit on top of the handle or to lay into the handle, but if it sits on top, make sure that's comfortable and it's not creating hot spots.
Atsetsa, please present your blade to the judges.
Well, I like the overall profile of this. One thing I do have a problem with, though, is your ricasso is basically matching your blade. With a tapering like this into a V shape, the handle scales will also form a V shape, and the blade won't have a straight section to fold into. That ricasso taper in that way, that's just going to cause a lot of problems.
Bladesmiths, the judges have made a final decision. The bladesmith leaving the forge is Atsetsa. Your blade did not make the cut. David Baker's going to tell you why.
Atsetsa, you brought us a classic blade shape, but unfortunately you fell into a couple of the classic traps when making a friction folder. The grinds, your bevels, go all the way into the ricasso, making a wedge shape, and that's not going to line up in your handle very well and be snug. If it's snug when it's closed, it's not going to be snug when it's open. We feel going into a second round, your blade has more work than any of the other smiths. That's why we're letting you go.
Atsetsa, please surrender your blade.
I think the judge's decision is very valid. So when I go home, I'm definitely going to focus on getting a grinder and just practice on that one. I'm feeling a bit down, but I'm so stoked that I was actually able to come and be on Forge and Fire and just compare myself to these amazing bladesmiths. And definitely will be something I remember for a lifetime and a great motivator and teacher